know what I mean. Any other games that sound interesting?
We started and
By the way, if you want
Okay,
to keep going.
just keep going.
we started and Brad had broke his arm, and Brian was serving a 4-game suspension. So we started off without either of them. Brad had,
Oh, to start the season?
yeah, we beat Proctor, and then Brad came back for the Central game, and we got beat at Central. That was like the first time we played them in their gym in years, because we'd always go to UMD to play or the Duluth Arena to play them because it was such a big deal in Duluth. And Brian, we lost that game. That was the only game we lost in northern Minnesota in 3 years. It was that Central game at Central.
In 82?
In 82. And Brian came back after the Christmas break, and I was starting in Brian's spot, and then Brian obviously filled it, and then I went back in reserve. And we started winning, and we didn't lose again until the championship game. The Chaska game was huge. One game that Brad was sick against Two Harbors, I got to play in his spot, and I scored my career high. That was kind of fun. And but in the same game, I had 19. Brian went for 24 and 16, so he was like the local player of the week. And I thought, well, I wasn't jealous of. No.
Yeah, you were. Come on.
But so we kind of rounded into form, and then we played Two Harbors to start the playoffs and scored 99 on them. Kind of got a feeling that we were going to do good things. And breezed through the. We ended up playing Central in the region championship game. The third meeting was Central, and the other game was the 7A final between Chisholm and Chisago Lakes. And that was the game where we had 7,600 people in the Duluth Arena. It's the biggest crowd they've ever had in the Duluth Arena. Brian said that about that game. He said they had to move people away so we could inbound the ball on the sidelines because there were so many people in there.
Inches off the court.
Yeah, just inches. It was crazy. And we ended up beating, Central had the lead at the half by 1, and then we slowly pulled away and ended up beating them by 12 or so. And which was interesting because the year before we played them in the playoffs, and they did the stall game, which I thought was sad because Gary Madison was such a great player. I wanted to see him go out with his guns a-blazing, and he had to play that style. And so we got to the tournament, and we'd been there before, so it was kind of knew what to expect, and we had Stillwater right away, and we took care of them easy enough that I got in the game, which was kind of fun. And then, like I said, we went back to the hotel and watched Jefferson beat North, which was a thrill. And then the Chaska game, and the thing that I remembered about the Chaska game that the other guys didn't was when we came out for the championship game, the Chaska crowd had just beaten St. Cloud Tech for third. The Chaska fans started chanting, "We want East, we want East."
I can't remember that, actually.
My teammates didn't remember that, but I sure did. I said, "Oh yeah, that was fun."
I do remember that. Okay, so let's get to the title game in 82. Just thoughts, memories. Let me say this. I watched the game this morning, like I said. We got up 8 right off the bat, so we were up by 8 points. And then you guys were up 3 at half.
Yep.
Jefferson was up 1 after the third quarter.
Yep.
And it was really a hard-fought, close game all the way.
And then I remember it was 49-47 Jefferson with less than 2 minutes left. And then Greg Montbriand happened. And I didn't realize this until yesterday that he was playing with 4 fouls.
Really?
Montbriand, yeah, he had been called for a number of charges, extended arm charges. But we kept trying to maybe get that 5th foul on him. So first it was Norlander, then Jaworski. We kept trying to get him to charge, and they'd call the foul. Greg would go to the line, hit 2 free throws. Foul, Greg would go to the line, hit 2 free throws. I kept thinking to myself, if he would just miss. But he never did. He never did. And then all of a sudden we were down 10, and we scored 1 late, and that was it. So it happened slowly but quickly, if that makes any sense. I mean, 1 minute we're down 2, and then all of a sudden, there's Greg at the line, swish, swish. Now we're down 4, swish, swish, 6. It was crazy.
John Lynch, he played. I mean, I'm proud of my brother watching him play, and he was such a good player and
so
just
smooth
and just he hit some key shots against you guys. And you guys are with the size obviously inside, and you guys played aggressively, and it was fun kind of watching my bro go out there and and get it done. So I would imagine he was the guy you were kind of.
Yeah, Brian Dudek was assigned to him, and you know, he was our best stopper. Actually, I think Steve Hill might have tipped the scales in your favor because Tom Fleck was 6'2", and I think Steve is 6'5" or 6'6".
Yep.
And so there was a little height advantage there, and you guys had Mark Nelson, who was just a wide body and just the perfect guy to get behind Brad and push on him.
Right.
And then we found out after the fact that that you guys had Kingery.
I can't believe you remember these names.
I don't. I'm a geek. What can I say?
It's great. I love it.
Kingery was assigned to be in front of Brad. He was supposed to follow him all over the court,
Right.
according to Coach Evans. Follow him all over. Mark was behind him, pushing on him, and then whoever was the weak side or the strong side forward would go down too. And so we were unable to get Brad the ball in preferred areas, I guess it was. And what we found out later also is that after the semifinal game, Coach Evans took the team, checked out of the hotel and went home. And guys got to sleep in their own beds, and then you had a practice at the Jefferson Gym here. And, you know, I think that played a big role because, and the other thing was you guys pressed the whole game. And, you know, for as tired as we were after the Chaska game, the last thing we wanted to do was be pressed the whole game. And he said, I saw an article where he said, we didn't know if it would work right away, but by the fourth quarter, they're going to get tired, and that's what happened, so.
Yeah, and you guys were obviously trying to get the ball inside your 7-footer, Dudek, and I thought Jefferson did. It was a lot of pressure on your perimeter guys to make shots in that
Yeah.
game. Because, you know, once those guys start making some shots, then it's,
Yeah.
you can't guard a team like you guys.
And you really wish that we had seen that and said, you know, to Jaworski and Norlander and Fleck, you know, you go ahead and, you know, they're leaving you open. Take the shots and see what happens.
Right.
But when you're used to Brad being the focal point of your offense, it's hard to go away from that. And he was incredible in the championship game anyway, even though he was being triple teamed and stuff like that. So I thought those moves by Coach Evans to take the guys out of the hotel and to press the whole game were probably the two big factors.
Yeah, Jack did that every year when I was in high school too. We always came home. I think we stayed overnight after the semifinal game all 3 years when I was in the state tournament. Mm-hmm. And then early next morning we ate breakfast and we were out. We got in the bus, we went home and just relaxed at home. And then we had a late kind of walk through before the third place game my sophomore year, the championship games the next 2 years. And you just got a chance to feel, it's not normal playing, you know, a big game like that, especially a state championship game, but at least you got some normalcy right before those
absolutely.
big games, which kind of helps a little
and
bit.
We're in the hotel and everybody's, you know, all excited and, you know, people are coming up and down the elevators and stuff like that, and so it's hard to concentrate. I remember I had a really bad cold, and I was rooming with Fleck and Brian Dudek, and I was actually worried that I was going to wake them up when I was coughing, so I went and laid in the bathtub. So I wouldn't.
You slept overnight in the bathtub?
Well, sort of, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Really?
Because I didn't want to wake him up. I mean, I knew.
That's teamwork, man. That's commitment. That's commitment to the effort.
That's how bad I wanted to win the title. I was like, I'll go sleep in the bathtub so you don't have to, you know, hear my coughing when I wake up. So.